Good morning, children. Today we'll go to the second part of the life process, that is respiration. Before going to the second class directly, shall we brush up the first class? In the first class, we have studied what are living organisms, what are the characteristics of living organisms, how living organisms are organized based on the fundamental units of life, and classification of living organisms based on the number of cells, that is unicellular and multicellular. What are the differences between unicellular and multicellular? With examples we have studied, and we have seen what are the life processes involved in all these organisms. That is important for a living organism to have a life, right? As a first part of life process, we have seen nutrition, which is most important life process. We have studied how nutrition happens in plant, that is synthesis of its own food by the process called photosynthesis, how it synthesizes glucose by using carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, right? That glucose gets transported to different parts of the organs and excess glucose stored as a starch in plants. That we have seen. And we have also seen nutrition, how it happens in unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium. And finally, we have also seen how nutrition, how human beings takes food and how it gets digested starting from mouth to anus. The system is alimentary canal. The digestion of food takes place in human beings in alimentary canal, which starts from mouth to anus. That we have seen. Today, let us see the second life process, that is respiration. Okay, respiration, it's of two types. One is external respiration, the second one is cellular respiration. What is external respiration? It is also called breathing. That is exchange of gases, exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. That is external respiration. Here exchange of gases takes place. That is, this life process, that is external respiration, takes place through a system called respiratory system. It involves a system called respiratory system. This is a diagram where respiratory system is shown. It starts from nose. In nose we will take in air. Okay, starts from nose. Within the nose we have hairs. ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕೂದಲುಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. This filters the air from dust, bacteria or other unwanted things. It filters, it acts as a filter. Our nose also has a moist mucus. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒದ್ದೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That it moists the air. If nose air filters, mucus moists the air because dry air cannot enter within the body. So in the nose itself, air get moistened. Okay. From this nose, it enters a pharynx. It's a cartilage of tissue of cartilage, pharynx, that is present beyond the throat. Okay. On back of the throat, pharynx is there. Air passes through the pharynx and then larynx. Larynx is the tube that is present on top of trachea. Larynx, it is just a tube which contains noise box, that is sound box is present within the larynx. It is present above the trachea. From pharynx, air enters larynx. Okay, from larynx, air enters the trachea. It is a coiled rings of cartilage. This is also a cartilage tissue. It has a rings. Air enters through nose, passes through pharynx, then larynx, then trachea. Here air flows easily. Okay, whereas in previous class, have you seen there is another tube called esophagus at the back of the windpipe. This is a trachea is also called windpipe and food pipe. In food pipe, we saw food does not pass through easily. By extraction and contraction, food flows through esophagus. Whereas in trachea, though it has a rings of cartilage, air passes through directly. Okay. From trachea, it enters bronchi. It is a bigger tube which divides into two lungs, which divides into two parts, which enters two lungs. These are the two lungs. From trachea, bronchi enters the lungs. Okay, this is a bigger tube. From bronchi, it branches into a smaller tubes called bronchioles. These are the sub-branches from bronchi. These are called bronchioles, where enters from bronchi to bronchioles. At the end of the bronchioles, we see bubble-like structures, balloon-like structures. Okay, these balloons-like structures are present at the end of each bronchioles, wherein the oxygen that is coming in from the air is absorbed by alveoli. These balloons are called alveoli. Okay, these alveoli absorbs the oxygen from the air that is coming through bronchioles, and it gives out carbon dioxide to the same bronchioles, which takes back carbon dioxide through the same pathway and exits out of the nose. Okay, oxygen taking up of oxygen and giving out of oxygen takes place simultaneously. If oxygen enters from one side and from other side carbon dioxide comes out and exits, this is called breathing. Okay, taking in of oxygen is called inhalation, and giving out of carbon dioxide is called exhalation, and the exit of carbon dioxide. Okay, from nose, air containing oxygen enters through pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi. It divides bronchioles and alveoli. In alveoli, exchange of gases takes place. Oxygen enters and carbon dioxide exits through the same pathway. Bronchioles to bronchi, larynx, pharynx, nose cavity, and carbon dioxide exist. Okay, this is a simple respiration process. Now, can we name the differences between inhalation and exhalation? Inhalation means oxygen is taken in, whereas exhalation, carbon dioxide is given out. What happens? What changes can you see during these two processes? What happens to our body during inhalation and exhalation? Like visible changes. Okay, first we'll say chest cavity. When we take in air, chest cavity expands. When we give out, chest cavity reduces. It decreases. Okay, what happens to the ribs? Ribs, when we just breathe in and experience, ribs lifts up. It comes forward. Whereas when we exhale, ribs cavity comes down. Similarly, there is a diaphragm. This is a muscle tissue present below the ribs. Ribs ಕೆಳಗೆ ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ muscle tissue ಇದೆ. ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. When we take in air, diaphragm moves flat, moves in, and then it becomes flat. When we exhale, ಉಸಿರಾಚೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ this muscle cavity blows up. It becomes a dome shape. Chest cavity increases, ribs lifts up, diaphragm becomes flat during inhalation, and at the end, finally, volume of lungs. This entire volume of lungs increases. This whole lungs expands, or volume increases when oxygen is taken in and air comes in. Similarly, this volume, entire lung volume decreases when carbon dioxide is given out. So, air exits. Since air enters, volume of lungs increases during inhalation. Since air exits from the lungs, volume of lungs decreases during exhalation. These are the two important differences between inhalation and exhalation. Okay, it involves nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, head tube, bronchi, and the organ involved in respiratory system is lungs. Okay, alveoli is a balloon-like structure present at the end of the bronchioles, which receives oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. None of the, in this pathway, oxygen is not taken in any other pathway. At the end of the pathway, alveoli is the tissue that receives oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. This is related to external respiration that is present in all terrestrial animals. All animals, that is including human beings that are present on the land, this external respiration takes place. Now let us see what is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, that is a respiration that's happening in each and every cell within the cell. Okay, this cellular respiration is same. It happens in all kinds of cells, like including plant cells, animal cells, human beings, all kinds of animals. This cellular respiration holds good, whereas this, it's only related to terrestrial animals, including human beings. Okay, whereas this, it holds good for all kinds of cells. What happens in nutrition? We have seen, right? Plants synthesize glucose, and what happens to this glucose? That gets stored, and some glucose is utilized in energy. Whereas in human beings, we saw food that is digested from mouth in the small intestine. The nutrients that are required for the body, like glucose, at the end of the carbohydrate metabolism, glucose gets absorbed into the body. Protein metabolism, amino acids gets absorbed into the body. Lipids, fatty acids gets absorbed into the body. What happens to this glucose that is absorbed in plants, that is stored from human? Let us see. What is cellular respiration? It is a process of obtaining energy from the oxidation of glucose to carbon dioxide and water. Glucose gets oxidized in presence of oxygen to carbon dioxide and water to give energy. This is the equation. See, glucose in presence of oxygen, it gives out carbon dioxide, water, and it releases 686 kilocalories of energy. Okay, 686 kilocalories of energy it will receive. Can you see this equation, and can you guess where did you see the equation? The reverse equation is photosynthesis. We have seen carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, we got glucose and oxygen. This is a reverse equation of photosynthesis. Okay, whereas in cellular respiration, that glucose in presence of oxygen gives carbon dioxide and water. Okay, this won't directly happen. First, 6 carbon glucose gets converted to pyruvate, 2 molecules of 3 carbon pyruvate in cytoplasm. Cell ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Cytoplasm ಅಲ್ಲಿ 6 carbon glucose gets converted to 3 carbon pyruvate in cytoplasm. This pyruvate enters mitochondria and then gets converted to carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy. This happens in mitochondria, whereas glucose to pyruvate, it happens in cytoplasm. This 686 kilocalories of energy, it gets transformed, that gets converted to ATP. It won't stand as such, it will get converted to ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. It is a modified form of energy which gets transported from mitochondria to different regions of the body, regions of the cell. Energy in the form of ATP is transported to different parts of the tissue. Okay, cytoplasm and mitochondria, in presence of oxygen, it gets converted to carbon dioxide and water. That is in organisms which require oxygen. We, especially human beings, plants, animals, all require oxygen. So glucose is converted to carbon dioxide and water in aerobes. We are called aerobes because we require oxygen. That's what you are seeing here. Glucose, oxygen gets converted to pyruvate in cytoplasm. It enters mitochondria and converted to carbon dioxide and water, 38 ATPs it produces. Okay, so mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell. Usually mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cells because during cellular respiration it produces 38 ATPs from one molecule of glucose. You remember that. If they ask which is the powerhouse of the cell, you have to write mitochondria. Okay. Whereas in some of the organisms which does not require oxygen, like anaerobes and that does not require oxygen. For example, yeast, it is a bacteria which does not require oxygen for its survival. In that organism, pyruvate gets converted to carbon dioxide and ethanol. Alcohol form ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Carbon dioxide ಜೊತೆ ethanol and it releases only 2 ATP. But this does not happen in mitochondria. This takes place in cytosol itself. In anaerobes, pyruvate does not enter mitochondria. It remains in cytosol and forms carbon dioxide and ethanol, but it releases only 2 ATP in yeast. For this, I'll give one example. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟು ದೋಸೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ನೆನೆಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬೇಳೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ, ರಾತ್ರಿ ರುಬ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ದೋಸೆ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ರಾತ್ರಿ ರುಬ್ಬಿದಾಗ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಹೆಂಗಿತ್ತು, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದಾಗ ಹೆಂಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ? ರಾತ್ರಿ ರುಬ್ಬಿದಾಗ ಏನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ರೊಳೋ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಇದ್ರ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಲು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ethanol production and carbon dioxide production. ಬಬಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಹಿಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ. ದೋಸೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ತೂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹುಳಿ ವಾಸನೆ, ಫರ್ಮೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ethanol. ಓಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಮೊಸರು, ಹಾಲಿನ ಮೊಸರು ಆಗೋದು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್. ಅನೆರೋಬಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅದರೊಳಗಿರೋ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಥನಾಲ್, ಫರ್ಮೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ನೈಸ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದೋಸಾ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹೀಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 ATP. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ anaerobic condition, I'll give another example for anaerobic condition. In muscle tissue, especially in animals or human beings, while running, sometimes we'll catch a muscle catch. If we are sleeping, if we suddenly stretch our legs, we'll get a muscle catch. Or if we are running fast, sometimes we'll get a catch in the muscle. That time what happens? Oxygen supply won't be there in the muscle tissue. So this pyruvate, instead of entering mitochondria, it gets converted to lactic acid. In muscle tissue, it gets converted to lactic acid in absence of oxygen and it releases 2 ATP. Production of lactic acid causes pain in the muscle tissue. Okay, it gives pain. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತಾದ್ರೂ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅದು? ಮಸಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆದಾಗ ಪೇನ್ ಆಗೋದು? Until it releases that muscle will have a pain. That is due to lactic acid. Okay, this is a cellular respiration that happens in each and every cell of a plant cells and animal cells and human beings, in all kinds of cells. There is some difference in aerobes and anaerobes. Can we name the differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration? Shall we label it? Aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration. It takes place in presence of oxygen, in the absence of oxygen. It involves cytoplasm, mitochondria, whereas here only cytoplasm. Okay. It gives carbon dioxide and water as an end product. Carbon dioxide and ethanol in yeast, lactic acid in muscle. Okay. Now more energy. That is 38 ATPs are produced in aerobic respiration, whereas 2 ATP, less energy is produced in anaerobic respiration. So which is more efficient according to you? Aerobic respiration is more efficient in energy production compared to anaerobic respiration. Okay, this is in cellular respiration and external respiration. Now this happens in the organisms which live on land. Now what happens to the aquatic animals, like animals which live in water? That animals does not take oxygen directly from air. We human beings and other cells takes directly from atmosphere, air from atmosphere, whereas animals living in water does not take oxygen from air. They take dissolved oxygen in water. Since they present in water, water will oxygen in the form of dissolved form. Dissolved form of oxygen from water is taken in by the aquatic animals. For example, fishes. We know fishes breathe through gills and mouth. Fishes, what happens? Fishes takes water from the mouth and it pushes the water into the gills. In the gills, the oxygen that is present in water in the form of dissolved form is taken in and passed through different parts of the body. Okay, this happens in aquatic animals. This is a second life process that happens in all organisms. Okay, this is an important life process that happens in all living organisms. Okay, thank you. Let us see the third life process, that is transportation. How this oxygen from alveoli gets transported to different parts of the body. If it stops in the lungs, other organisms, other parts of the body, other cells which are present in other parts of the body also require oxygen, right? So let us see how this oxygen and the food that is absorbed in nutrition life process, how it gets transported to different parts of the body. That we will see in the next life process, next class, that is transportation. Okay, thank you.